Hello, everyone. So I welcome you to my training for today. We're actually just going to be moving together for the most part. I would like to start by sharing my screen and just giving a quick presentation of what it is that we're planning to talk about today. So I'm calling this the 5 steps to embody freedom physically and emotionally. Yes, embodiment. That is a beautiful, big, embracive idea, concept, and reality that is moving into the morphic field of our world more and more these days. And I have been, just those of you who have never worked with me, I have been a teacher of movement and a choreographer since the mid-70s, actually. I'm showing my age a little bit. And then I became an Alexander Technique teacher, which, if you don't know about Alexander Technique, it is a very gentle touch, hands-on therapy that helps to change the way that we're embodied, that changes the way that we're actually living in our own bodies. And the desire is to reduce tension and have more easy coordination, those kinds of things. My work as an energy healer continued after apprenticing with a healer for 7 years, Ron Young. He's still out and about doing healing work, and I have taken mine into more of a movement-based and coaching-based program. But I'm always happy to put people on my massage table and do some energy healing with them. I work with crystals, I work with sound, I work with the inner vision and the inner knowing. Okay, so today I want to talk about the 5 steps to embody our freedom. And we could talk about so many different things, but one of the things that I would like to orient us with today is first to really just slow down. We live in such an information age, as we know. We are so addicted to our information that it's almost like the mind is trying to, reach out and just pick up and get even more information, more studies. But unfortunately, what happens, because it's staying in the mental level, we're really not bringing it into the body. And it's really in the body where we stop multitasking and stop doing so many other things that 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 your own inner wisdom can start to speak to you, and your own information, the deeper place, the connection, what I call the soul connection, can start to reveal itself to you. And so slowing down is going to be a part of this. So this is going to be the first movement process I do with you today in a few minutes. Okay, second step is simplify. And this can work on a physical level, decluttering your space, and it can also work on how we make choices about what we want to do during our day. And many of you have already heard my story of the Stephen Covey book, 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, came out about 25 years ago. And he has this beautiful story in the book about 6 rocks. Apparently, as the story goes, his child, who was about 6 years old, was doing some kind of show and tell, and he was invited to come to this elementary school to talk with the children. And he brought this jar filled with 6 rocks. And he asked the children, is this jar filled up? And they said, yeah, it's filled up, it's filled up. And they raise their hand and get all very excited. And he said, wait a minute. And then he found these little rocks, like pebbles, that he put in, and it filled in all the spaces for in the jar. So we had the 6 rocks, but now we have all these little rocks in there filling all the spaces. And he said to the children, now is it filled up? Yeah, yes, it's all filled up. And he said, wait a minute. And he poured sand into the jar, and the sand filled into the tiny little spaces in there too. And he said, now, children, is this jar filled up? And of course, once again, they said yes. And he did agree. And the moral of that story, or the point of that story, is you always want to start with your 6 rocks, because everything else in your day, in your life, is going to fill in there and clutter into your day. So you may never do those 6 things that you really felt were essential or important. And by the way, some of our 6 rocks need to be self-care. They need to be walking in nature, because if we don't do those things for ourselves, the day is going to go by with much less clarity and determination on your part about what's really essential, what's really important to you. So the second step on this embodying freedom is to simplify. Know what it is that you really want to get out of your day. The third step in finding our freedom is to sense. And we know we have the sense of sight, the sense of touch, the sense of smell, the sense of hearing, right? And then that inner sense, in that inner knowing sense. So when I'm thinking about the senses and how tactile we can really be, it's a way of touching the more ineffable aspects of ourselves, the more subtle and delicate and maybe even intimate aspects of ourselves, so that we can enlighten, we can light up our environment and our sense of being and purpose more through what we have available to us. Because as we know, we are humans, we are spiritual beings, we are embodying and living a physical life that really opens up that light that already exists within us and brings us even more connected and less feelings of being separate from our source, from our God, if you will, from beingness, from that light that we have within us. So that kind of brings us into more of our spiritual dimension. We're living in the physical, and we're living in the feeling state, and we're also living in essential energy of opening to the presence of the totality of who we are. And to that end, one of the steps that's a little challenging for me personally is the 4th step. And that is, I'm calling that surrender. But again, this has to do with releasing and decluttering and finding more true freedom and availability in our lives. So surrender has to be part of it. And what we're letting go of is simply what is no longer needed or necessary or useful in our lives. Things that maybe were important to us a decade or 2 ago, that are really have served their purpose, perhaps. And that's even in relationships. So sometimes we're carrying around the kind of the weight and the heaviness of old ideas, old relationships, ways of being, even childhood experiences and friends that we just assume we need to stay with in the present. But as we graciously release and let go of those, then something new can, something transformed can happen. It's like the story of the butterfly. You know, if you try to open the little chrysalis of the butterfly before it's ready, it's in that stage of basically kind of turning in on itself and melting. And the butterfly would never be able to emerge because something has to happen during that time. It's a complete surrendering, even of the DNA of the caterpillar. Nothing of the caterpillar is going to still be there when the butterfly emerges. So we have to allow for the inevitability of that stage to be there. And I could say so much about the idea of surrender. One of the things that we really have to think about is that our identity is connected very much to the physical and the way and the habitual aspects and ways of being. And when we can really release and let go of some of what that our identity thinks it needs, and that's really even around defense of the self, fencing of the self, protection, identification, feeling like we have to, fight and support, our point of view. Like, what happens if we do let go of our point of view and be willing to be more defenseless? That's going to allow for some movement and flow and freedom to come in. And that's really where this embodiment is very, very tangible and very potentially transformative. Okay. And then the last step is, it's probably first and last step, but the last step is to cultivate self-care. Our physical bodies have needs. And if we don't listen to what it is that we're needing in the moment and not giving time for ourselves, maybe you have a habit of only caring for other people and always be on their beck and call, and then you find yourself very depleted by the end of the day, or worse, kind of agitated and annoyed or angry. All those emotions start to bubble up because you haven't really come back into your own well-being enough to know even what it is that you're needing in your day. So this is on a daily basis, but it's also a whole picture, a sense of the whole what you're really creating for yourself. And it's self-expression, it is self-opening and really crafting the life of your desires and your dreams, and then coming back into that more spiritual container. It's like what you're seeking is also seeking you. What you're desiring is also desiring you, so that you are becoming more at one with the wholeness of yourself, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Okay, so let's go back to the first step and just wonder together, what do you do to slow down in your life? Or do you just like hit the morning running after that alarm goes off, and before you know it, you're out the door, or you're back into the same old, the same stress and anxiety levels that become normal to you? So what do you do to slow down? I love to do my self-care practices early in the morning, and that includes my coffee. So, if you're a tea drinker or a coffee drinker, take the time to make your coffee, but then come back to yourself and give yourself time to do a breathing practice or a meditation practice. Even close your eyes and really sense in yourself whether you can really just relax begin to notice where you're holding excess tension in your body, and start to breathe it through. So this breathing practice is really the flow of life. It brings you back into a real connection to yourself. It's almost like there's a sonic place of well-being that exists within your own voice and your own breath. We need our breath first to find that. So I'm actually suggesting that you create a practice for yourself where you take maybe just 10 minutes to begin to, to really listen to your breath. And from there, let a sound or a tone start to emerge right from the heart center. So we're coming from the top down. We're allowing that quieting to happen first through the mind, and then quieting the thoughts and quieting the throat center and bringing your essence into your own heart, into your own belly, into your own pelvis. Okay, so from here, I'm going to stop my share if I can. And this is the hard part for me, is coming out of this thing here. Okay, so I'm going to stop my share and just come back. Oh, I think I never did my share. Okay. Start share, play, and escape. Excuse me a moment. This is where okay, so here we are again. Sorry about that. Took me a minute to get out of the screen share. All right, so we're going to just come back. I'm going to ask you to bring your legs a little bit farther apart. I'll bring my chair further back so you can kind of see what I'm doing. And we're going to bring that essence down and down and down into the heart center, bringing your hands into the heart. Take a moment for a full deep breath. Bring one hand down a little bit further. This is called energetically in the chakra system, your solar plexus. It is your place of allowing. And it's reaching down into and anchoring and grounding you into the deeper aspects of your physical body. So we're coming down into the physical. You can bring your hands just above the hip joints, bringing your finger right to that little crease, that area in where the pelvis meets the legs. And I want you to just take a few minutes to breathe deeply. Breathe in and out, legs apart, feet on the floor. And we're just going to begin by some gentle little movements of the pelvis back and forth. If you've done yoga before, very often on all fours, we start a yoga practice with cat and cow. That's what we're doing in this very, very subtle way, sitting here on the chair. Think of it as like chair yoga, doing a little chair yoga. And then we're going to start moving the pelvis around. So you can let your creativity and feeling of movement emerge here, slowing down, bringing your energy down into the heart, down into the belly, down into the chair. Keep those legs very wide. The reason why you want to keep the legs wide is to really open the channel of the thighs, really let the grounding or the earth energy coming in, where the earth is actually coming up to meet your feet, pouring up into your legs, making a beautiful connection both down and up. So through the legs, down into the feet, feet into the molten core of the earth, closing your eyes and just starting to move. Feel that breath coming in, Feel that breath going out. Nice and easy. Feeling around. It might be almost achy or painful in your low back, and that's fine. It's like we're breaking through, breaking up a little bit of stuck energy. Stuck energy acts a little bit like an ice cube. So if you were to imagine an ice cube, you have this feeling or this block of energy or ice, right? And what we need to be able to do is bring that alchemy into the ice, allowing the freedom of movement itself to start moving you and start to allow you to flow into and through your energy center. So right now we're just highlighting the belly area, the movement of the pelvis around. No big deal. Nobody has to do this right. Nobody has to do this perfectly. Let your eyes close and sway. And just feel this is kind of a movement meditation today. It's all I'm inviting you to do is slow down, simplify, allow yourself to sense, allow the surrender, whatever that means for you in this moment. You're just letting the movement come in, feeling the sway, feeling the movement, allowing that ice cube to just easily melt on a hot day. It's very hot here in Philadelphia. We have 90-degree weather for about the 4th day in a row. No air conditioning. Allow that movement to take place. Breathing with it. Bring your hands up into your ribs if you want, so you can move the rib cage. Feel the breath filling into your ribs. Inspiration, expiration. Pausing at the end of the exhale. Feeling that emptiness, feeling that desire for inspiration. Let the inhale happen. Exhale. The next time we exhale, we're just going to let a sigh come out. So breathing in. Breathing out. Let there be a sounding on your exhale. Breathing in. Breathing out. Just feel the sensuous quality of your whole body and movement. See where you need to just give yourself a hug or feel a side stretch coming in. And then I'm going to just invite you to stand up. Get your bearings standing. Feel the weight into your feet. And I'm going to move my chair aside. I have the yoga mat there, always there, ready for movement. But we're not going to go into yoga today. We're just going to take the same feeling. Make sure that your feet are a comfortable distance apart. And you can explore the room, explore the space that you're in. Feel the movement through you all the way into your feet, into the floor, all the way up, looking up at the ceiling, opening into the space, feeling the room, cultivating an open, expanded space. So the idea or the desire here is that with this real simplification and slowing down, we're allowing your body to tell you what it needs. Your body to tell you how to be. Now, you might be in a more, energetic state that I am. So let that staccato come in and, almost kind of frantic energy. If you want to cut through and into the space, that's fine. Or if you want to just be in this kind of legato space, instead, the main idea is to slow down and sense and surrender. So there's really nothing to do, right? There's nothing to do to embody more. You're just inviting yourself to, through your own inner self-care, to just come more deeply, more fully into your form. And take a breath, and let's slow it way down into stillness, letting your arms come to your side. You might want to take a slightly wide stance and then just bringing your hands to your bones, to your hip bones, pelvis bones. And then just take these last few minutes to gently sway back into the circle. We're going to release the legs and the arms. And we're going to go all the way down to the floor and then all the way back up. Lift up, come forward, drop down, and roll up one more time forward. This is chair position in yoga. Drop down and roll yourself up. Now we're going to go the other way, this way and up and down and release up. And last time, and release up. And now let that inner dancer in you come forward. Whatever you want to do for your full, free expression. Feel that beauty, feel that calm. And then just gently coming back. And I say gently, that means that it's a transition. So you want to take your time to really allow yourself to come fully present back to your chair, to yourself. Let's sit on the front of the chair. And now we're going to finish by bringing a little bit of a channel of energy into the heaven realm, into the earth realm. So start with your hands, just sitting on your lap, allowing your head to nod forward just a little bit, closing your eyes. You may be feeling your heart beat, listening to that heartbeat. That's a feeling sense too, a kinesthetic feeling sense. That you've awakened your heart energy. Allow ourselves to come into the heart. You can even put your hands on your heart again. We're opening from within, listening, coming fully into the body, embodying freedom. Just allowing and looking for those spaces where we haven't given quite enough attention. Let your breath come in and out. And now opening the feet, allowing your feet to rest on the floor. Just imagine that your shin bones are softening into your ankle. And the energy of the legs is dropping down, down, down. The calf muscles are softening. The heel is anchoring. The heels are anchoring. You have a nice arch and flow through the arches of your feet and into all 10 toes. And just letting the feet spread out. Allow this to be a very subtle and very intimate experience for you. Opening your senses. And know that this is the best self-care you can give yourself. Feeling the energy in the body and directing that energy, grounding that energy into the earth. Going down to the earth star now, about a foot below your feet. Reaching down, further down into Pachamama, the earth. And just feel that stream of energy going straight down into the earth, really connecting to the earth, to your grounding, like a grounding core. And then let that energy from the center of the earth start pouring up through you into your legs and bring it all the way through the belly and back into the heart. And then we're going to continue to let it come up through the throat, opening into your face, expanding outward, up and out through the crown into the heavens, connecting to the stars, connecting to Father Sky, opening into sky. Feel that etheric space expanding around you. So you're moving into your etheric body. The etheric body lives just outside the physical, emotional, and spiritual bodies. Feeding light into that space now. Expanding further into your auric field, a field around you, 4 to 5 feet around, expanding outward, opening up and down. Breathing into the rainbow body, breathing into the light, allowing the light, the white light, to now feed into every cell of your body. Turning on the cells, expanding within, opening into the energy field. Let the breath come in deeply, expanding, listening, and just allowing yourself to be. And thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you got something valuable out of our time together. And this is Diane Sussman from healingintoabundance.com. I invite you to come to my website and check out my coaching programs. You might be drawn to one of them. I have some home study and I have some very personal care that I give over a 4-month period. So thank you once again for being here, for being present with me. And I hope you have a beautiful summer day. And I will say goodbye for now.